Hey, I want to tell you, if you have ever used one of these, which granted, I bet you most people have, you understand chiropractic. And please let me explain, because what's so most important is that a lot of people say, how can you help so many different people with different symptoms? And how do you help so many people? And this is what I want to take the time to explain, because the nervous system works in different ways. Just to rehash, we know that this is the brain, my best artwork that I can possibly form. Use your imagination there. And we know that the nerves have to talk to the body, and the body needs to tell the brain what's going on. And if there's a lack of communication, i.e. if there's a cell phone up here and a cell phone up here and they only have one bar, we know that it's not going to be good, especially if you're getting chased by a tiger. Your body needs to function the best it can. And you can rehash my other videos and look through like how the brain talks to the body and how that affects and what the subluxations control. But I'm going to tell you that the subluxations appear in two ways, okay? Actually, three ways that we're looking. We know that the nerve's talking to the body. If a nerve that's not talking to the body correctly, there's interference between what the brain is saying and what the body is hearing, meaning static or breaking up the signal. We know that the body's not going to function. So for instance, there's a nerve that actually communicates from underneath the brain here. It's called the vagus nerve, and it actually talks to the upper 2/3 of digestion. That includes your stomach, your esophagus. So kids that have reflux, people that have heartburn, even people that, the tummy gets upset, it affects the mood, even affects mood, that starts to have an effect on digestion. And it doesn't allow them to digest the food really good, and they're not going to get the energy absorption that they all need. So that's an example of this. Now, we have another area where, hey, the brain is not talking to the body, and it comes out as noise in the brain. It's a bunch of static. Now, what happens when it breaks up and you're going, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Do you get a little tense? Do you get a little frustrated? Can't do this? You eventually just hang up the phone and say, I'm enough. Well, the brain can't do that. And what this shows up as seizures. There's an imbalance in the nervous system. There's noise going to the brain. Or when a child's trying to do homework and they're hearing Metallica playing in their brain the whole time, or there's multiple distractions, it's not going to let the brain process really well, especially from the age of 0 to 3 is when the brain is really developing its most. And it really affects the programming of the brain. So noise into the brain affects the structure of the brain, affects the output of the brain, it affects the behavior of the whole individual, because the brain controls everything. So bad in means bad out. Now, what happens if the whole nervous system is just under stress? It is just weighed down with stress. So both cell phones are not working properly. They're both in a patchy spot. Well, that's just the whole body starts to shut down. The body gets fatigued, energy, exhaustion. I'm worn out, I'm burned out, okay? My body just can't handle some things. The energy's going everywhere, okay? I have one foot on the gas and I have one foot on the brakes, and the only thing that's doing is revving the engine up and burning up fuel. And that is the most serious of all. And you might be asking, well, how do I know if I have this subluxation? Well, the only way to find out is to get into a chiropractor that focuses on subluxation. Ask him, call him up and say, are you a chiropractor that deals with subluxations? Okay, because if the subluxation is affecting the nerves, it's gonna have an effect. Dr. Randy, how do I know that I have subluxations? Well, that's easy. You give us a call, because the subluxation will manifest in digestive problems. It will manifest in immune system problems, energy problems, behavioral issues, anxiety, seizures, neurodevelopmental issues, lack of walking and movement in kids, torticollis, those types of things, a whole host of everything. But there's no way to tell for sure unless we do a complete set of exams and scans and we sit down. Because I just don't look at the symptoms as the end result to shut off. I look at the symptoms as a way of saying what nerves are not working in the body, what nerves are not functioning correctly in the body, and how do we get those nerves turned on so that the body can function the way it's programmed and designed. Hey, I'm Dr. Randy Wirtz in Thrive Chiropractic, and I want to let you know we're here for you. We are here for you. Give Chris a call. She'd be happy to answer your questions. And if we even need to set up a phone chat between you and me, So you can answer any questions. We'll definitely do that. We want to make sure that this is the right fit for you, because the reason this is so important is because when you understand, when people understand how chiropractic works, it's easier to make the decision to say, let's try this. It's easier to sit there and focus on you being healthy rather than, I don't know what's going on or I don't understand, because it's more easier to take a step forward and to try something new, something that works, something that is like the last resort and you're at your wit's end. Because believe you me, we've seen people like that too. Let's be your guide. Let's be your help. Let's be your answers. Let's be your hope. Hey, this is Dr. Randy Wirtz in Thrive Chiropractic. I want you to get outside and play. Make it a great day. Bye-bye.